What is the biggest problem in your business today?
I am trying to make sure that I have people on my schedule when I grand opening.
Ooh, okay. So your problem is effectively pre-sale.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about what you're opening.
So I'm starting a cash-based physical therapy clinic based on the ALP model with a niche in performing arts and pelvic health.
Cash-based physical therapy with using the ALP model. What do you mean by using the ALP model?
The aspect of just being very holistic and lifestyle as well as fitness to kind of bridge that gap between leaving the healthcare model that's usually insurance based to then trying to be a high level performer or person in life.
Okay, love it. So, cash-based physical therapy, solving for pelvic health and performing arts comprehensively and holistically.
Correct.
Okay, great. And where is this going to be?
Quincy, Massachusetts, and I'm also going to be doing concierge services. So it's about 20 minutes south of Boston is where I will have a space, and then I'm going to promote myself in the greater Boston region.
Why are you going to do both?
I want to have a unique access into performing arts. I want to do things like providing on-site coverage at dance studios as well as performances, and then having a space where I actually have the equipment to load people up.
Okay, I want to share with you how that complicates things and where I would do that. That complicates things in so much that it's a split focus, and to do either of those well would potentially require a full focus. The way that I think that you could leverage the concierge stuff where you're driving around from and to people is that's going to be your content. So are you a content creating, your perkiness makes me feel like you probably do create content. Your performing arts makes me think you probably do. Is that true?
Yes, I've recently kind of restarted the Instagram content creation in the last 3 months.
So if you're
pushing it now,
that becomes your marketing. If you get paid for it, great. If you make a bunch of money doing it, great. That's your marketing. Everybody sees that Ali is getting invited into these high status places to work with high status people or perceptively high status people, and she's the one they call in, then your brick and mortar facility becomes the go-to place because it's the only way they can get to you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You follow me on that?
Yeah.
What that means is you limit the amount of concierge work that you do, and you limit the days on which you will do it, because those are times where your brain needs to be turned on to, this is marketing content. How do I make sure this is marketing content?
Okay. Yeah, so really trying to figure out how I can also have a system of asking people if it's okay to record, and then kind of setting up and on my way there and things along those lines.
It's never okay to not record unless they're paying you a ton of money if it's going to be your marketing content.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, now listen, if you want to, do you have demand for that? Are people already telling you they want you to do that?
For concierge?
Yes.
I have one source, but that's about it.
Okay. And what do you do for this one source?
Going in and just providing short-term manual and corrective exercise before people are performing.
Right before they perform.
Yeah.
Okay, and how often do you go there?
It's gonna be just performance based, so it depends on the dance company. So realistically, potentially once every other month.
Oh, okay. So we're not really okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was potentially trying to do it a little bit more, trying to get in with other theaters or dance studios in the area, but I definitely don't also want to overwhelm myself.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What is the reason to have both? Is it a financial goal? Is it a scratch the itch goal? What is the reason to do both?
I want to do the on-site to just get my name out there so people know I'm a performing arts PT. And then also just offering care to dancers in a way that they often don't have access to care.
I understand. I'm going to tell you something that you probably won't love hearing, but I promise you will love doing. Okay? You don't need to do the concierge work to become the person that you're describing wanting to be. You need to be the performing arts and pelvic health PT that everybody travels too. You can do that, by the way, by going to shows and being a fan.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the added stress of having to be the physical therapist for the show. If you were constantly at shows or constantly at practices, just watching, reporting on what you're seeing and talking about it in the content that you're creating and in the way that you work with clients, it becomes very obvious to people very quickly that that's what you love.
Yeah.
You've been a performing artist, yes?
Yes.
If you saw that there were two physical therapists and one of them you were constantly seeing who was going to the performing arts to watch, to be a fan, to take it in, to enjoy the culture, and one who wasn't, and both said they work with performing artists, which one are you going to?
The one that I'm seeing.
The one that you're seeing at the shows all the time, right? So you get to have the fun, document the fun of going to the performing arts, talk about, like you could take a video of somebody doing an athletic move in a dance and then just break down all of the things that have to go right for that person physiologically to be able to do that thing. Where the breakdowns often happen, how you correct them, that's now a piece of content that didn't require you acquiring a client. Do you follow me?
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense.
The hard part of what I'm describing right now is it feels fun to be the person behind the scenes. It feels fun, it scratches the ego, it makes it. When I was doing this for CrossFit Games athletes, professional baseball players, Olympic medalists, I felt so cool because I was the guy that was behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I was
And
broke.
that's how I feel right now too, because that's where I'm leaving. My contract is up in 4 weeks. I've been traveling on tour with like a Broadway show as their PT for about a year now.
Yeah.
So
So
now I'm, like, switching to my next.
document your last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And the big thing here is, I want you to hear this. When I was doing all of that stuff, I was spread too thin and I wasn't making money. And when I came home to work with my patients in clinic, I wasn't feeling like I could give them great care because I was constantly thinking about where am I going to get the next patient from, because I spent all of my time working with these athletes who are not regular for me.
Yeah.
Hindsight, I would have been a fan of that stuff. I would have broken down what those people need, and if they really wanted me, they would have come to me. I would highly recommend you go all in on making your in-person practice unmissable.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea. I think that kind of helps me narrow my focus because I've been trying to figure out how I can have multiple revenue streams, but I think creating value and marketing that in person might be beneficial for actually gaining that value and money that I am stressed about.
You focus on one revenue stream that you love to support. Right? This is not go make money at any costs. It's you like working with pelvic health patients and performing arts patients, yes?
Yes.
So you're going to have a predominantly female audience, yes?
Yeah.
And they're going to be females who speak a very common language that you understand that I don't. Not because they're female, but because of the kind of work that they want to be able to do, yes?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And you enjoy that.
Yeah. A ton.
Nobody can replace that. So you go all in on being the person for that. And everybody will find you. The mistake that you run the risk of making is, I also do this, I also do that, I also do this, I also do that. Because in the beginning, you're going to feel the urgency to get patients and clients.
Exactly.
You create, I work with this kind of person, and this is how I do it. Everybody who comes in goes through the same process that is custom for them, but it's the same process. They all get discovery to make sure we're a fit. They all get consult to make sure I'm confident I can deliver. They all get prescription to make sure that they know exactly what we're going to do and what their results are going to look like. They all get the awareness of what their workload is going to be as they go through that. They all get a specific recommendation of how many days per week, what kind of work, how much soft tissue, how much training, right? All of that. And the end for everybody is this. They have independence. Their pelvic floor is strong. They've recovered from birth if they had a child. They're no longer dealing with performance incontinence. And they're able to sustain it because we put these practices in place. If you're somebody who is struggling with those things, I've been a dancer, I've been a performer, I toured with a company on the road for a year, making sure that they could be performance athletes. I can help you too. Please come find me here. You'll crush.
Yeah. Thank you.
Does that clear things up for you?
Yeah, no, I think so.
So let's talk about the pre-sale success briefly, because I want you to make sure that you get that. We had to first decide pre-sale of what, right? So pre-sale is in the brick and mortar. Are there performance studios in that area?
Yes, multiple dance studios and theaters.
Do you know the owners of them?
I know a few, but not some others.
Okay. So what I would recommend in your position is, what is something that, I don't know the answer to this, you do. What is something that women in performing arts need clarity on, that they would pay money for, but you don't have to charge them?
I don't have to charge them. Interesting. I think learning about like recovery and breath and the importance of those aspects in performance.
Okay, so improving recovery and breath and performance, yes?
Yep.
Okay. You could very easily go to every single one of those studios and every one of those theaters and ask if they have people who they believe would want to participate in a workshop where you teach that. You don't go in and sell that, though. That's the solution. What is the problem that they need that solution for?
To reduce like rates of injuries and pain.
Okay, so I am new in town, and I want everyone to know that I can help them with the aches and pains that they deal with, the injuries that come up seemingly out of nowhere, so that they can do their performing arts better for longer. I'd love to host a workshop here for your students if you'd be interested.
Yeah.
We will charge $25 per student just because we need to hold a spot. Every one of those $25 will get paid to your studio. I don't keep a dollar. You sell it, you keep the money, I come in and perform the assessments, like the workshops.
Yeah.
You go in and perform the workshops, and then in the workshops, you're letting all of these people know that if they enjoyed what they got from you today, you would love to help them actually execute on it in your clinic, which is local.
Right.
And then you give them a way to schedule a consultation so that they can go from having this group think to having a one-on-one, totally custom evaluation and service.
Yeah.
That's
Great idea. Because I was thinking about a workshop, but I like the idea of having it in those spaces and like with how much buy-in and payoff that they get too.
and you limit it. You only have room for 10 people per. Or even 6 people per, right? Keep it small, and if it goes really well, just do it again.
Yeah.
When is your grand opening?
I moved back to the Quincy area like mid-July, and then I'm hoping to open first week of September.
So you have a month and a half.
Yes, and I was hoping like maybe workshop in August, but then my equipment and all the things will be ready for September.
You do your workshops from the first day you possibly can until the day that you open. And when you do your consults, right, all that you're doing is booking people. Do you have a place you could do a consultation?
Yes.
You're just booking people to the consults, and then they're just paying a deposit to be a patient as soon as you open.
Yeah.
The deposit can be as small as their first visit with you.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, super helpful.
Great. What you need? How many patients do you need to have when you open? What's success for you in a pre-sale?
Like ideal week, like when I do ramp up.
No, a successful pre-sale is what?
Like 10 patients in the first week.
I feel like you're asking me a question.
So what would be like an example of the answer?
Well, you said you want to have a successful pre-sale. I need to know what that is.
Oh, okay, yes. I want to have like 10 patients by like my second week, like on the schedule.
Does the patient come once a week?
Ideally 2.
Okay, so you need 5
Most
people.
people, I think. Yeah.
So we're going to go for 7 people as the goal.
Okay.
How many people do you think you need to have in a workshop to get one? I think that that's very, very reasonable. I think you'll probably get 1 out of 3, maybe even 1 out of 2 if they're coming for that reason. But let's go with 1 out of 5. So how many people do you need to put in workshops if it's going to be 1 out of 5 to make sure you have 5 who are your patients when you start?
Oh, math.
The answer is 25.
25?
You need to have 25 people who have attended your workshops. What I'm recommending to you, go for 50.
Okay.
If you can get 50 people to come to your workshops in those 6 weeks, you will open with your 5 patients twice a week, if not more.
Yeah. That math makes sense.
It does. And the single focus is going to be so much better for you, I promise.
Yeah, and then if I wanted to do like a surprise, someone invited me somewhere, it could be cool for content marketing.
Totally. Totally.
Okay, cool.
All right?
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, this was helpful and helped me create clarity on my large to-do list that I'm chugging through.
Keep that to-do list as small and intense as you possibly can.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Allie.